Though Stevens went in, scores! Off the skate of Casey. And at 58 seconds of the first period, Pittsburgh is out front, 1-0. Mullen fired one on the boards, and it goes down the ice. Here's Stevens again. Rebound, score! Pittsburgh leads 2-0 on that rebound by Ron Francis. Such an important game. What a great jump for Pittsburgh. Another shot. That's Wyatt. Rebound. Score! It's 3-0 Mario Lemieux at the side of the net.
And this game isn't 3 minutes old. And you can't tell us, Mr. Neal, you thought it was going to start like this.
Pittsburgh got out to a 3-0 lead in Game 4, a 4-0 lead in Game 5, and with the series on the line for the North Stars in Game 6, the storyline, Mario would finish with 12 points in the final and 44 points for the playoffs to earn the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Well, it means everything to be part of a championship team, and especially after last year where I played most of the year with back pain and got the surgery and then the infection. I didn't think I was going to come back that strong towards the end of the year, and I was able to do that. And every time you have a chance to be in the Stanley Cup final and win it, it's got to be the ultimate dream, and feels great.
Mario was fantastic. I mean, you can't say enough about him. He was facing a career-threatening injury, came back. A lot of people were doubting him in the first series against Jersey, but he was injured at the time during that. He didn't have to prove to anybody in this room what he's all about. We know he's a great hockey Stanley Cup. I mean, it's just great.
Finally, Lemieux had earned the respect that comes with winning a Stanley Cup. The question everyone was now asking was whether they could do it again. Welcome back to Frozen in Time's look at the Pittsburgh Penguins' championship years. Having realized their dreams of winning the Cup and basking in that glow, the Penguins set their sights on repeating as champions. On-the-ice success, however, would take a back seat to the harsh realities of life. Head coach Bob Johnson, the team's guiding force, was diagnosed with a brain tumor and underwent emergency surgery at the end of August. At the start of October, a reluctant Scotty Bowman assumed the coaching duties in place of the ailing Johnson.
I try to do the same things as we did a year ago, and naturally no one's the same on the bench. That's probably the biggest difference during the games.
I think he proved in the past that he was a winner. He did it in Montreal and Buffalo, and we respect him just like Bob last year. So for us, the adjustment is almost there.
We'd be losing 4-0 after the first period, and he'd find something positive out of that period, and he'd dwell on that. Where Scotty is more of a, what you might call an old-time, old hockey type of coach, where if you make a mistake, he lets you know about it.
What's most important is for us to pull together as a team again and really focus on what we need to do to get this organization back where it was a year ago.
With heavy hearts, the Penguins started the season by sending the message that they indeed were intent on defending their title. In just their 5th game of the season, Pittsburgh trailed the Islanders 6-2 in the 3rd period, before one of the most stunning comebacks in team history.
Scoring there for the Islanders. That's his 2nd shot on goal, and the Penguins come right back to make it 6-3. Recchi in front to Stevens, to Lemieux, he scores! Mark Recchi to Larry Murphy. His shot was wide. The rebound is there. Back in by Lemieux. The hat trick for Mario. And 6-5 is the score. Yager with a head of steam down the left side. The big youngster. Look at the move. Cuts in. It completes the play. It's tied 6-6. Back to the blue line. Here's Paul Coffey with a drive. The thing in the rebound. Phil Bourque wins it for the Penguins in OTs.
And it's a 7-6 Pittsburgh win in overtime.
On November 18th, against the Quebec Nordiques, the Penguins showed just how potent they could be offensively when a pair of teammates recorded hat tricks in the same game.
Taken out of midair, the Penguins do get into the Nordiques in a wrist shot by Recchi, and he scores again. The wrecking ball gets his 2nd, and the Penguins lead 2-0. Now she wants to sell my monkey. Settles the puck around to the far boards, and Francis gets a handle on that. Swinging up to Recchi, and the Penguins break 4 men strong. Go back in, the shot by Stevens goes in, and the Penguins have taken a 3-0 lead. Kevin Stevens has just cashed in. Lemieux calls for the puck now. Around the net, he's right there. His shot, save made, rebound. Recchi gets the hat trick, and the Penguins lead 4-1. Now now Michael Motorcycle. 8 seconds to go. Around the net, in front, it goes to Stevens. He shoots and scores. Kevin Stevens set up by Recchi again, and Recchi has 5 points on the night. Stevens' second goal, and the Penguins now lead 5-1. Oh, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Relayed to Sakic, and will shoot it to the net off Barrasso's glove. He tried to poke it through. He hit his skates and comes right to Kevin Stevens with Mullen back 2-on-1, 3-on-2 now. Stevens on the right side comes down. He looks for the hat trick. He shoots and scores. The hat trick for Kevin Stevens. And the Penguins now lead 6-1.
For all of their on-ice exploits, the Penguins' deepest thoughts were still with their ailing coach. On November 26, on what forever came to be known as the saddest day in team history, Badger Bob Johnson passed away at the age of 60.
Excuse me. That was very family-like, and he was really like the father to our organization, and it takes a special man to be able to come into a group of young people and people within our staff that it takes a special man to be able to do what he did with this organization. And certainly the influence he's had on me and then the rest of the team will remain with us forever. And you know, we plan to carry on, and his goal was to win Stanley Cups, so we're going to go on with that goal of his.
I think especially when you lose not only a great coach, but a great person like Bob. You know, you look back at what he's done for this city and this team in 1 year, it's pretty incredible. And, you know, everybody liked him. I think everybody that played for him, I have a lot of respect for him.
I think nothing gave him greater pleasure than being behind the bench and seeing us play well, you know, under his leadership. And that's how I'm going to remember Bob.
Until it really happens, you don't really realize what's, you know, a big part of us is gone now, but you just have to stick together and try to help each other out.
With heavy hearts, the Penguins pressed on, trying to find motivation and inspiration from their tragic loss.
They won't let it go, though, and the Penguins, Paul Coffey, up in the right wing to Yager against Huffman, cuts inside on him, goes to Stevens, cutting for the net, he's right there. His shot stop, rebound knocked in by Corey Foster, and the Penguins lead 5-0. Kevin Stevens will get his 4th goal of the afternoon.
This was Stevens' 3rd hat trick in 16 days, and to everyone's surprise, it was he, not Lemieux, nor Gretzky, who were leading the league in scoring.
Well, he's so big and so strong that he gets a lot of room in front of the net and in the slot, and he's got a quick release, so he can get in and out and get some good chances that way.
Not to be outdone, Joe Mullen had a holiday season to remember.
Here's a 3-on-2 for the Penguins. 66 is the puck carrier. Stevens goes in front. They score! Mullen! Lemieux out front. Mullen all alone. He scores! Hasn't had a shot on goal, and he's got the 8th. 9-1. Back-to-back hat tricks for Joe Mullen. 4 on Monday, 3 tonight. Jim Pack, 10 goals. Joe Mullen's got his 4th.
However, despite all of these incredible individual exploits, the Penguins found themselves in 3rd place on New Year's Eve. Instead of turning things around, they continued to slump, winning just 4 of their next 18 games. Welcome back to Frozen in Time's look at the Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup years. In 4th place on February 19th, and in need of a spark, Craig Patrick once again pulled the trigger on a blockbuster deal, trading Mark Recchi and Paul Coffey in exchange for Rick Tocchet, among others, in a 3-team deal. It was hoped that Tocchet could provide some grit and toughness to a team that had a surplus of flash and finesse. That deal, however, did not turn the tide. The Penguins were clinging to a playoff spot, just a point up on the 5th-place Islanders with 6 weeks to go in the season. With their playoff lives in the balance, a pair of Penguins scored milestone goals. On March 14th, Mario Lemieux recorded his 400th.
Mario again scores! They can't give him too many chances.
That's his 400th goal of his illustrious career.
And 3 days later, Joe Mullen joined that same 400 club.
to Lemieux. Fakes the shot. Returns it to Murphy. Lets it go. They score! Joe Mullen.
And the Penguins come out to congratulate Joe Mullen, his 400th of his career.
A week after that, Lemieux again hit another milestone, recording point number 1,000.
Stevens shoots and scores right from the faceoff, and the Penguins have tied the game. So Lemieux will assist, and guess what? 50 for Stevens, 1,000 for Lemieux.
Fighting for their playoff lives, the reigning champs lost just 5 of the remaining 18 games to finish in 3rd place. Mario Lemieux captured the league scoring title for the 3rd time in his career. After finishing 3rd in the Patrick division, the Penguins opened the playoffs against the Washington Capitals, who finished 2nd in the league standings. Lemieux was sidelined with a shoulder injury for the opener, and the Capitals took advantage by posting a 3-1 victory. Mario returned for Game 2, however, and assisted on a pair of first-period goals. But the Capitals rallied to score 6 straight and take a 2-game lead. In Game 3, Lemieux had a night to remember.
Stanton finds Lemieux on the left wing. Lemieux fires a shot, scores! His first for the playoff. Stevens picks it up. Lemieux in front all by himself. Tried to move around Don Beaupre, who's down, scores! Lemieux! Lemieux knocks it down, walks in, Lemieux shoots, scores! The hat-trick goal.
But Dino Ciccarelli answered with a 4-goal game of his own in Game 4 to help the Capitals take a 3-1 series lead. Scotty Bowman would make a strategic decision prior to Game 5. He opted to play a more defensive style of hockey, and it paid off. It was defenseman Larry Murphy who tallied the winning goal.
Trottier darts for the net. Here's a drive by Lemieux. Rebound Larry Murphy, and he buries it for the power play goal. Pittsburgh with another lead. This one 3-2.
In Game 6, the Penguins trailed 4-2 midway through the 2nd period before they started their rally.
Slice Ridley, right to Mullen. Mullen walks in. Here's Mullen breaking in, scores! And it's 4-3. Lemieux all by himself. Bourque with a drive, scores! A power play goal, we're tied. Jágr tries to center. Lemieux in front. Lemieux stuffs it in. 5-4 Pittsburgh. Francis with a drive. Rebound buried by Lemieux.
The Pens' 6-4 victory would force a 7th game back in Washington. And again, Lemieux's heroics grabbed center stage.
Lemieux. Shot by Francis. Pass save. Rebound. Lemieux. Short-handed goal. Jágr. Backhands it in. Beaupre down, and the Penguins take a 2-1 lead. Jágr's 3rd, and the big guy, 66, gets an assist there.
Lemieux would assist on Jaromir Jágr's 2nd period goal. This was his 17th point of the series and would turn out to be the clinching goal. The Penguins survived a 3-1 win to become just the 12th team in history to overcome a 3-1 series deficit. Welcome back to Frozen in Time's look at the Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup years. In the 1992 Patrick Division Final, the Penguins faced the President's Trophy winning New York Rangers. The Pens won the opener 4-2, but they would have to overcome more adversity in Game 2.
4:59, first power play of the game. The Penguins lead the NHL. A penalty called on Graves.
Graves got his stick up in the face of Lemieux right away. Dan Marawelli's arm went up. Bookeboom barked at Marawelli. Marawelli gave Bookeboom a stare. The Rangers coaches know that right now this could be the biggest call of the season. Lemieux cuts across. Watch Graves' stick. It looked like it was on the wrist. Yeah, you can see Lemieux pull his arm and his hand outside of the glove. This is a slash heel first. Kind of a two-handed chop right to the hand. That was a chop more than a slash. Lemieux goes down. He's injured his left hand. Scotty Bowman is upset.
Mario's hand is broken, and he's out indefinitely. Broken bone in his hand.
It was a pretty vicious slash, and you know, he wound up and hit him pretty good, which is something that, you know, can't be allowed. If they're going to swing sticks like that, you know, they're not made to be swung like that.
You know, whacking and hacking the playoffs seems to intensify, but there's rules, and I mean, that's the name of the game. You got referees out there, and the linesmen now can call majors, and you know, you just hope that things don't get so carried away that someone gets seriously hurt.
Graves was suspended, while Lemieux suffered a broken left hand and was done for the series. Making matters worse for the Pens, the Rangers would win 2 straight, including Game 3 in overtime on Chris King's goal. Nobody could have imagined that this was the last time the Penguins would lose in the postseason. In Game 4, without their captain and trailing, Pittsburgh got a break on a bad goal allowed by Mike Richter.
Great penalty kill by the Penguins. Team's at full strength. Francis, big shot. Score! Right through Richter. Oh, what a turnaround. And suddenly the Penguins have life. They are within 1 with 9:33 to go.
In overtime, it was Francis again who played the role of hero.
40 seconds in the power play. Around the boards for Francis. Hardy tries to knock it down. Stevens reaching for the puck. Messier is there. He's got it. He's tied up by Murphy. A shot. Score! The Penguins win 5-4 on a power play goal at 2:47 of overtime. And the series is tied.
2 nights later, it was a third-period goal by Jaromir Jagr that was the difference, as the Pens took a 3-2 series lead. Jagr would score the winner in the clinching game as Pittsburgh wrapped up the series in 6. Next up, their opponent, once again, the Boston Bruins. The opener would go to overtime, where a Pens rookie would strike for his 3rd straight winning goal.
Pass ahead. 2-on-1, Jagr coming in. Jagr scores! Jagr has done it one more time.
Mario Lemieux returned for Game 2, and the Pens never looked back, as the big captain had a pair of goals and added an assist.
Now Mario centered it. Stevens to Mario. Scores! That will get the crowd going. Their hero is back.
You always think about your injury, especially when you have a broken hand. Once you get in traffic, you're always concerned about getting hit, but you know, went through all right. I was able to go on the ice and put that in the back of my mind for the most part of the game, and went pretty well.
Was this strictly your decision, Mario? Did the doctors try to talk you out of this? How did that all? Was it your decision?
No, it was certainly my final decision. I think it should be up to the players to tell the coaching staff and the organization how they feel.
Game 3 belonged to Kevin Stevens.
Up comes Mario Lemieux with the puck. Down he goes. Look at this. Jagr score! What a great play from deep in his own zone. Mario, Stevens, and Jagr were the bit, that trio. And Andy Moe took a quick look at the corner. Couldn't get it by anybody. Tocchet is there, back of the net. Francis dumped it in front. They score! Stevens again, wide open in front of the net. And a power play goal for Pittsburgh makes it 2-0. Tocchet fired a pass up to Mario Lemieux. Here's Stevens open! And Moe, no, he scores! Stevens had Moe going down, and a natural hat trick for Stevens now. Set up by Mario. It is 3-0 Pittsburgh.
John, you like that pass?
Into Jagr, hopped over him. Major penalty is over now. Jagr, Lemieux, score! Three-way passing play at number 4 tonight for Kevin Stevens. 5-1 Pittsburgh.
Game 4 would provide one of the signature moments of Mario Lemieux's career.
Look at this. Mario Lemieux coming to center, trying to fool Bourque, and does. Look out. Scores. Have you ever seen such finesse? He put the puck in the skates of Captain Ray Bourque and waited for Bourque to make the move, which turned out to be, of course, the wrong move.
The Pens completed their first sweep of a best-of-7 series in 22 years.
Every time you have a chance to play in the final and have a chance to win the cup, it's a great feeling, and it's the same thing this year. Guys want to go in the final, and you know, at least we have a shot at it again.
We're in a pretty good position. We gave ourselves a chance, I guess. That's all it takes, and you know, Chicago's going to be tough. It's going to be a damn good series, and I think it's going to be great for hockey. It should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get it started. You know, right now I don't want to really think about it tonight, but tomorrow we'll get back and watch them. You know, I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll play golf tomorrow. Who knows?
For the second straight year, Pittsburgh was hosting the Cup final, this time facing the Chicago Blackhawks. Welcome back to Frozen in Time's look at the Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup years. In the opening game of the 1992, Marriott would score a pair, including the game winner in Game 2, as the Penguins took a stranglehold on the series. The scene shifted to Chicago for Game 3, where the goaltenders grabbed center stage.
Hronek is in there. Wayne coming up. Hronek! Picked up by Barrasso. Yager in. Gets set. Oh, what a great save. Now the rebound. And Belfour grabbed that one. And he hangs on to it. You know, he turned ahead to Tocchet. He's alone going in. Tocchet. And stopped by Belfour. Noonan turns back for Chicago. Going up over the line. He has the breakaway graded on goal. And Barrasso stopped him cold.
Kevin Stevens was the only one to score on this night. Tom Barrasso pitched a 27-save shutout, putting the Penguins on the cusp of their second straight Stanley Cup. Game 4 featured a wild opening period, with the teams combining for 6 goals.
Now Lemieux gives it to Stevens. Scores! Stevens! And they have the 1-goal lead again. There's Tocchet looking around. Here's Murphy. Scores! Murphy put a high shot in. I think it hit something in front of the net. And Pittsburgh gets the go-ahead goal, 5-4. Here comes Francis. Here comes McEachern. Francis in. Scores! Francis drives one through the goaltender, and it's a 2-goal lead.
The Pens' 2-goal lead was sliced in half, but in the end, it was enough.
13 seconds left. Trottier golf it up. Lemieux's got the puck and he can't get it out right in front of Flexen. Oh, what a save by Barrasso.